you need people to be honest with you about what it is that you need to work on. And so I hope that you guys have people in your lives that will tell you the truth about what it is you need to work on, so that you can achieve your goals.
Welcome to the Next Level Journalist, where you will hear from some of the best journalists in the business or who have been there, done that, and willing to share with you what they've learned so you can get better, faster. My guest today is someone I've known since 2007. He gave me my opportunity at KOSA-TV in Odessa, Texas. And if that station, those call letters sound familiar, around the time of 2007, they just wrapped up, but Making News West Texas Style was there. So for you old school journalists, you've probably seen that reality TV show on TV Guide. Well, he was the news director there. So without further ado, Jose Gaona, thank you so much for making time for this today.
Man, you're taking it way back to my my whole 5 minutes of fame, and I guess my only claim on being internet famous, I guess. So, yeah, it's good to see you, Kyle, and thanks for letting me be a part of this.
Man, I'm honored that you're here because, like I said, you played an instrumental role in my development and getting in the door as a sports anchor. My first job was a sports producer reporter. Didn't have a whole lot of reps on air. You gave me that opportunity, so I'll be forever in debt to you for that opportunity. But before we jump down memory lane, let's go down your memory lane, I guess, if you will. Talk about that West Texas Making News West Texas style. Give people an idea of what that was like, because Twitter, Facebook, it wasn't what it is today. So
yeah.
For those who saw it, you had to go to TV Guide or a certain station at a certain time to see it. Maybe reruns. Tell us what that experience was like.
Yeah. It was fun, and it's nice. It's an important part of my professional journey, and it's nice to have it documented, right? And so I'll just go back a little bit. In 2001, I came to the Midland, Odessa market as a producer for the NBC affiliate. And I spent 4 years there. I joined as a producer and worked my way up and left about 4 years later as an interim news director. I was under 30. I was young and full of myself, but I loved news. I loved breaking news. I had worked for a BELO station in Boise, Idaho, KTVB, that was a legacy station. So I learned a lot, and I was very blessed. And I brought a great skill set from people who poured into me at that station. I came back to Texas, to get married. Really, I pursued my wife, who was not far from Midland, Odessa, Texas, and this was the closest I could be and still have a job in TV news. Anyway, I left at the NBC affiliate and took a job in September of 2001 at the CBS affiliate, KOSA. The company, it was owned by a man, Mr. John Bushman, in ICA Broadcasting. And he had bought the station a few years back. And, John is a competitor. He loves to win, which our values lined up there, as you know, how much I love to win. And the general manager, Barry Marks, they bought the station to make it a number one station. At the time they bought it, it wasn't a number one station. And so in walks in this young punk named Jose Gaona, and they hired me. So when I started, one of the things that happened was we were approached by the TV Guide network to take part in this reality show. They wanted to show how news is made and how it's done in a small town, in a small market. And Midland, Odessa is a great market. We may be a small market, definitely a lot bigger than we were when we started back in 2001. But as you know, Kyle, this is a great news market and a phenomenal sports market. The things that happen here because of our geography, because of our oil connection, our connection to, we're the home of presidents. We got oil and gas here. We're the biggest oil and gas producer in the world. We have, when it comes to sports, we're the home of Friday Night Lights. So there are a lot of great things that happen here, which make for great TV. And I think these producers saw that and knew that. Anyway, they approached us, and we reluctantly discussed it and thought, no, hey, we're news. We had some journalism integrity questions, but at the end of the day, their goal lined up with our goal, which was we were in pursuit of climbing up in the ratings, and we felt like this, if we could, I could quote unquote control it. If we could play this right, it could create some buzz for the station, right? And that's exactly what it did. And so over about 6 months, they came in pretty quickly. And so they documented almost my day one, not quite day one. I've been there about a month when the film crew started coming in. And as a new news director, I'm coming in. I am establishing a culture, the culture that I want. Right, the newsroom before me had a non-aggressive, losing culture. Right, and I came. Every station I've ever worked for, the 3 other stations had all been legacy stations. They were all dominant number ones. So I didn't know how to lose. I only knew how to win. And what it took to win the day, to win in news coverage, to win in breaking news, to win in weather, And so so they documented my establishing my team, the culture, and we had some characters in our newsroom. I wasn't one of them. I don't think I am. We had some fun. We had some young reporters. Some very talented ladies. One of them is an anchor in Dallas now at WFAA, a great station. And one of them's in Houston. And so we had a great story to tell. So it made for great TV. And they documented. But there's a lot of stuff in there that's very real. You could see these young reporters. Having to run in the news, run out, pitch, try to learn to pitch stories. We had some breaking news in there that they were able to cover. As a station, as a small station, we were going through technology issues and upgrades, or not having all our equipment that we needed to be competitive. And so, I'm thankful that, again, for me, I think it captured history for me, my professional history. And the cool thing is that they captured the time that we were there. So in 6 months, me and my team were able to turn that station around to number one in the market. And that station still to this day, it's an accomplishment I'm very proud of. That station is still number one in this market. And some of the culture that we established there is still there. And so we did a lot of great things. But I give the credit all to people like you, Kyle, who were willing to make the move to little old West Texas, and buy in to the culture, to what we were selling. And mostly it's because we aligned in that you had a goal for your life in your professional career, and it aligned with our goals and values at our TV station.
That's great stuff, Jose. Before we forget, tell us about what you're doing today.
Yeah, so my career, my time at KOSA lasted about, from 01 to 15 to 17. So I was there 01 to 17, and in 2017, well, I'll go back. In 2015, the station sold to Gray Television. And I was honored. I had the honor of becoming the general manager. So I worked my way up. From 2001, I was news director. I was operations manager several years later. And then in 2017, I parted from the TV station. I was general manager for 3 years, and just decided to do something different, and really decided to take my talent, my hard work, and have it return more for me than for somebody else. When the TV station sold, they got a great return on the investment they'd made. And as a corporate manager, we were doing really well in sales, and I saw that a lot of the time, and I just desired to do something different. And so I started my own company, Red Pixel Marketing. We're a full service agency. You know, there's a lot we do. We're blessed to have great clients who we serve, and get to help them tell their story out here in our community. And so I'm excited. I'm excited about what I do every day now.
Well, I definitely want to throw that plug in there, give you an opportunity to talk about what, what you're doing today. But I love, and plus I want to, showcase the people that, it didn't stop after being a news director. Like, you literally climbed, you got your foot in the door somewhere and you climbed to the top. So that gives you more than enough credibility to talk about what I'm going to ask you next. And that is that you clearly built a great station, culture, legacy right there at CBS 7 and turning it around. What did you look for when you were going through those demo reels, and whether that be for a reporter, a photojournalist, a sports reporter, just give us some insight as to what your process was like in finding that talent.
Yeah. I always set the bar high, right? I always wanted to start. I always wanted the best, right? So if we were going to be the best, I had to surround myself with the best. So as a news director, I always came in trying to hire the top talent. I always try to keep tabs on who was coming out of these different schools. Over time as news director, I had seen that there were certain shops or, certain schools that produced great talent because at that school, their program had the same kind of culture or similar culture to what our newsroom had. And so I always started there, right? And I always set a high standard of wanting to hire the best, even though we're Midland, Odessa. And every time I would reach out to somebody, they're like, "Where are you?" Or, "Huh?" Because I knew the greatness of this market, right? I knew that if I brought great talent in here, they would be able to take again, this is a hot market for news and sports. And I knew that they would be able to take that. And again, so that's on the bigger picture. That's what I was looking for. On a smaller scale or the more detailed scale, I was absolutely looking though for people who knew what they were doing who knew the fundamentals, right? Could they shoot well, right? Did they understand how to operate a camera? Were they hard workers, right? What in their past showed that they were hard workers? Could they overcome adversity, right? One of the harder things of being a young journalist is picking up and moving halfway across the country to places you don't know. There's a lot of adversity in that. You don't bring your family with you. You're here alone. You're making new friends. There's a lot of cultural adjustment. Not every community's culture is similar to the culture that you grew up in, right? And so, again, and that's good because it's expanding you as a person and exposing you to different cultures, different ways of thinking, doing things. And so, but that could be an adjustment for a young journalist. And of course, then there's all the other pressure of having to find an apartment, being able to afford an apartment and eat on the salary that we pay you guys, right? Which is always, for me, had always been a tough thing to do. But I looked for those things and I pulled those things out, or I felt like I pulled those things out in conversation, right? So, if somebody's tape hit my desk and I liked, again, looking at the fundamentals, like you're a great looking, handsome young man, right? We'll check that one off. You were made for TV, Kyle, right? You've got solid chin, great symmetry. And so, those things, they matter, right? And so, but once you check off those superficial things, then you start getting into it. And I would pick up the phone and have a conversation about what you've done, how you grew up, where you grew up, things you've overcome, that kind of thing. And so I hope that answered your question. I might have not.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I appreciate you gave us the 30,000 foot view and then kind of got into some specifics. Again, as someone who went through the ranks, doing a little bit of everything in the station, you saw how everything was done. what would you tell an aspiring journalist that's in school right now and say, hey, learn these things because you might not necessarily learn them in a textbook. Here's a heads up about this. Start doing these things and then put together that demo reel. Any advice or tips that come to mind?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I'm going to get back to the fundamentals, right? Your tape needs to be, again, you got to think, I mean, when I put a job posting out, I mean, I could easily within a day of posting that job, get anywhere from 20 to 30 resume reels, within the first few days of that, posting that job. So you got to stand out. And so, and to me, the way you stand out is you have to show that you're a strong reporter, sportscaster, whatever it is that you're applying for. So those stories, be selective about the stories that you put on there. The other thing I'll say is when I was reviewing tape, I would look for this. I would look at the story selection, the types of stories you put on there, how you told those stories, because I felt I didn't just hire anybody. I always felt like I hired people that, again, already fit our culture and our values, right? And we were, as you know, we were a breaking news station. We were a storytelling station. And so if tapes that I could clearly see that always quickly just went right over to the good pile that I called, and some that, even though the person stood out and had some good, strong fundamentals, they might go to the maybe pile. But when I saw, immediately when I would see right off the bat, hey, and I'm telling you this because I'll tell you, I think one thing that a lot of young people could do, a young aspiring journalist could do, is do your research. Don't just shotgun. Don't just look at all these stations are available and I'm going to send my reel out, right? I keep using tape. That just shows you how old I am. I'm sure your digital link now, right? You're going to send the link out now. And so do some research, because honestly, just because it's a job, it might be a good job, it might be even be in the market you want, you could really hurt yourself by going to the wrong shop that doesn't align with who you are as a storyteller, and how you do things, and that there could be a lot of friction there, and with you and your news director, your assignments editor, your sports director, whoever it is that you're working for. If you're not aligned from a storytelling values, it's going to be tough sledding, I feel like. And so I would say do your research, and I think as a news director, I would appreciate it when people would say, oh, I see that you're a breaking news station and my skill set fits that because of X, Y, Z, or, because not all stations are the same. You have stations that are, more focused on breaking news. And what does that mean? It could mean that you might only have 45 seconds to tell you your package if you're a news reporter, or hey, some stations don't even do sports packages anymore. I mean, that's crazy. And so if you're looking for, if you're going to the station where you're a storyteller and you need 2 or 3 minutes, which sounds like a lot, or maybe even a minute and a half to tell your story, but you go to a station that values breaking news and really they just want the nuts and bolts and then move on, you're going to find yourself unhappy. You'll have a job, but you're going to find yourself unhappy. And then you're going to find yourself not being able to put the kind of tape you want to put together that exemplifies your skill set for that next, that second job is really important. And so I would say start by doing some research early on the station that you're applying for, and making sure you're a fit.
That's so good, Jose, because I experienced that firsthand. I went to a station that it wasn't the right fit. It was a 1-year contract. I didn't re-sign, and then I was unemployed for a while. So I'm so glad you shared that, because I don't think anybody's ever shared that on here. And people don't realize, yes, it's ultra competitive. It's hard to turn down an opportunity. I get that firsthand, and I know you do as well. But if you're not the right fit, you'll find yourself looking for a job much sooner than later again. So I appreciate you sharing that. And I know we're running out of time. So I want to leave The last topic or question, kind of up to you. So one of the things I used to always end with when I talk with somebody was, is there anything that I missed? Anything that you want to mention?
Yeah, I'll just kind of go things that have helped me in my journalism career and even in my professional career period. I mean, so one of those things has been networking. I believe networking is still really important. So it's things like this, Kyle, being plugged in with people like Kyle who can share their experiences. That's important. There's still several associations out there. I was a member of the National Association of Hispanic Journalists, and I'm very thankful for the support that several of those people within that organization were able to give me as a young journalist, guidance, experience, stories, ideas. And so I think networking is important. I'll go back again to what I was saying. Make sure that you don't just shotgun your resumes and your things out there. Don't take a job just to take a job. I've seen so many people just that not work out for them. Stay positive in your job search. I can tell you, Shannon Murray, she's a reporter anchor in Dallas now, large market. And yeah, I remember hiring her. I just felt thankful that I was able to land someone at the caliber of her talent. But it took her a while. She was working as a nanny or a babysitter, I believe, if I remember correctly. Don't get discouraged. Keep trying. Keep yourself busy. There's a lot of in this day and age now. You can keep yourself in the business through social media. You can create your own you can create your own news channel now and distribute news and I mean, video equipment is so inexpensive now. Heck, our phones shoot probably higher quality now than we ever had when I was a news director, to be honest with you. And so if you want to do this and you're having a hard time finding a job, I'd just say, don't get discouraged, stay with it. Keep researching, keep finding those jobs. I'm not in the news business right now, but I can tell you coronavirus, COVID has changed in the way newsrooms operate. So you need to make sure that you are up to date on how newsrooms operate. Because if you graduated before March, it's not anything, it's way different now, right? And so I can see that because I still work with a lot of TV stations. We do a lot of PR work. It has changed a lot. So just make sure that you're keeping tabs on what's going on, just in newsrooms in general. I would be picking up the phone and talking to news directors, assignments editors, and other reporters about what it's like to work in a newsroom now. It's not the same. It's very different. I would think there's a more, it definitely takes tougher journalists now to work in these conditions. Now, it'll get better, but working remotely now, as you take jobs now, working remotely is we used to have a big screen bureau, right? We used to have a guy and he used to feed his stuff, and now that's every day out here now. I see a lot of these reporters, they're reporting from home and putting their stuff together at home. So technology has really just accelerated because of coronavirus in newsrooms, and I think that's going to continue to change. Sadly, I'm concerned about the amount of jobs that are going to be available in TV if our economy slows down. So just be aware of that. Keep tabs on what's going on in the industry.
That's great stuff, Jose. Like I said, I know you're on the timeline, and I appreciate you fitting this into your schedule. If you're open to it, I'd love to have you on.
Yeah.
And we could talk about all kinds of different things.
Yeah, we can. I would love to. Yeah. And Kyle, I'm just thankful for you. You got a great story. I hope people will share your story and not to prolong this any longer, but I'm so thankful. Kyle ended up in our shop, and I think adversity he went through, and it worked out. And this goes back to what I was saying: find that fit. So Kyle, you can't tell that now, and I'm not doing this to pick on you, but he used to have an accent, a Southern drawl.
Big time.
When I saw that, I'm like, this is Texas, baby. Come on, we say y'all. And it was okay. It fit for us, right? Actually, it was no big deal for us. There were going to be no viewers complaining. But I did tell Kyle, I was like, hey, as you work here and you move on, you're going to have to work through that. And you did. You spent time with one of our morning anchors. You spent time leveling that out. And so you need people to be honest with you about what it is that you need to work on. And so I hope that you guys have people in your lives that will tell you the truth about what it is you need to work on, so that you can achieve your goals. And that's what I felt like I did with Kyle. And Kyle knows this about me. I'm very straightforward. I'll tell you how I feel and what I need you to do. And I think that's what's worked for me. And Kyle, kudos to Kyle. He didn't take it wrong. He didn't get offended. Instead, he went to work and did something about it. And that's why I feel he was able to have, the career he's been able to have and do the things he's been able to do, because that's just
that was a pivotal moment, because I'll give people a taste. So instead of saying home, I used to say home, and that's not an exaggeration. So again, yes, you gave me that breakthrough to be a weekend sports anchor, but you gave me that transparency, that feedback. I got better, moved on, and here we are 10 years later talking about it. So again, I know, Jose, we can talk all day. So great to see you. And again, I so much appreciate your time and everything you shared with us today.
Yeah. Set up the next one. Let me know. I'd love to come on and tell more stories.
All right, Jose.
Thanks, Kyle.
And thank you for checking out this channel. If you found this content beneficial, I'd appreciate it if you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and share it with someone you think might find it beneficial as well, because this channel was simply started and created to serve you, to help others grow, to learn how other successful TV journalists do or did it. So take what serves you so you can get better faster and reach your next level.